Hi Stampers, this is Meg from Loven Stamps. Hello! And I'm excited to share another project with you. This is a teaser video for my Come Together online crafting class that I'm offering in September. So it's free with a purchase from my online store of $50 or more when you use the hostess code. And I am going to give you a whole bunch of tips. So this video is outside the 10 tips video, 10 card tip video that you get as part of that online crafting class. But let me show you what I'm featuring. So the Come Together suite is in the holiday catalog on page 46, 47, 48, and then 49 is associated products. But these are beautiful things that you will use to make all of the 10 projects that are featured in the packet of 10 projects that come with the online crafting class. So let me give you a few intro tips on this so that you can get an idea of why you're going to want this class. So first of all, our card background is stamped on a piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock. So the card size for this is 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to start with my leaf and just go ahead with a large leaf from the Come Together stamp set, or Gather Together stamp set, and just stamp all over the background. Alright, now we have other pieces that are featured: the designer series paper, the wood feathers and tags element, and the matching ribbon. And you're like, wait, the ribbon doesn't match. Hold on, I'll get there, okay? That's one of the extra tips. So first of all, you can use your triple banner punch to go ahead and cut the banner tag on this, or you can just go ahead and mount it or cut it yourself. And I'm going to add some snail. You could also put this down with Stampin' Dimensionals. So it's a 2-inch strip. And then it has another strip alongside that I'm going to cut here from another piece of the matching designer series paper. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this on. Here is another little tip for you. If you want this to look more dimensional at the bottom, go ahead and take a Stampin' Dimensional and pop it up underneath here. So I've got that down on the paper, which means that when you get to the bottom, then I have this extra layer that shows here, even though everything is flush at the top of my card. So, okay, then I have a die cut leaf, so stamped and then die cut with the Gathered Leaves dies. So here's my stamp set. So stamp this in Pretty Peacock. I'm going to go ahead and mount this here on my card, and I'm going to give it a little bit of bend. It's done on shimmery white cardstock, so it has that extra little touch to it, and that bend is going to give it just a little extra interest there on the side. And then I have some leaves that I have die cut with the same leaf. They're the inked emboss technique that I will show you in another video, and another teaser video actually, so it's available on my Loven Stamps YouTube channel also. But I'm just going to grab one of these. I think I actually want one that doesn't match this stamp exactly. So I'm going to snag this one, and this folder was inked, these dies were inked and then put through embossing, so they have this really pretty ink on them. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this here also as a layer. And then one of the pieces that's included in this suite, so featured with a Come Together online crafting class that I'm doing, are these feather and wood round elements, and you get a ton of them in a package. I'm going to go ahead and snag one of these. Now, I found that I got best results stamping on the blank side when I was using a detailed greeting. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this to the back, and I'm going to use my May the Season Bring You Smiles and Love That Will Last All Year, which is a great stamp. You could use it for Christmas cards too if you want to extend that stamp into Christmas, or anything really. I mean, I suppose you could send a 4th of July card that says that, who knows. But I'm going to go ahead and ink this really well, and then instead of doing a quick stamp, I'm going to stamp and hold. And this is one of my tips that I really like for stamping on semi-porous surfaces like the wood round, so then you can get a really nice image transfer when you stamp there. It just takes a little extra time to press that ink down. Okay, now you're wondering how I got thread, because the thread that's here is this Cajun Craze color, which actually is pretty with a card, so I could just use it as Cajun Craze, but here's the trick for you. I'm going to use a sponge dauber, and I am going to go ahead and press my thread down into my pad and just pull it back. Now, This will take a little bit to dry, so plan on inky fingers or wear gloves, or just wait for it to dry before you go ahead and use it. So I'm going to do it kind of a few times so that I get a nice amount of ink on there. And then I'll go ahead and cut that piece off so the rest of my thread is clean. And you know what? I love you guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and ink my fingers here. I'll try not to transfer that to everything else. But I'm going to go ahead and string this through here and tie a little bow. One trick to bow tying, I know there's lots of stampers, I get comments all the time like, I hate tying bows. One trick to bow tying is to keep your bow loops in proportion to the size of your project. So these big floppy bow loops, those don't quite look as right to me as these cute little dainty bow loops, okay? That might even be a little small. You want them to be in proportion to the size of this little wooden round piece. So that looks good. And then I'm going to nudge this back up so that it's on the top there. Trim off my extra bits, okay? And then I'm going to mount this. And when you mount this round, I would recommend using glue dots. And you don't have to pick those off if you don't want to. You can just press your element right down on to the glue dot, and then I use kind of a sideways motion to pull them off so that they stick with my wood element. There we go. Okay, remember if your fingers are inky, keep them off of things that don't want to be inked, and then you can press that down. Keep my inky fingers away. And there we have our card. So lots of tips on this one. Tips for inked embossing, tips for changing the color of your thread, tips for stamping on wood, tips for making your layers appear. These are the kind of tips that are included in my Come Together online crafting class. And if you're missing the September video, you're watching this later, know that my projects change every month, so you can get a new online crafting class for free from me each month with a minimum order. So make sure you check my website out, Loven Stamps, Stamps the Mail Club, or online crafting class to get information on getting those projects for free. So these are a treat and a thank you that I have for my customers who place orders with me. So I look forward to sharing them with you too. Let me know if you have any questions. The tutorials are available, both the PDF and the video series, as a separate purchase. If you're interested in that, they're available on my website too. Just let me know if you're interested. So lovenstamps.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more projects with you soon. Happy stamping!